Hi guys, you're welcome back. Thanks for clicking.
All right, let's try and keep things civilized, shall we? Nadine, I guess for you, two things. You were born in Jordan. You just told me off air. You're an American citizen, but very much a Palestinian in your heart, obviously, in your blood. What did you make, first of all, before I get to what Mossab Youssef was saying, what did you make of Queen Rania's comments as the Queen of Jordan about all this?
No, I believe that all Arab leaders can take a stronger stance in support of Palestinian liberation, particularly considering that, you know, the citizens of Jordan, most Jordanians, support Palestine. If anything, actually, most people who live in Jordan are Palestinian descendants that have been ethnically cleansed from their land and ended up as refugees in Jordan, just like my family did. And so I believe that, you know, Jordan and all these Arab countries should stand unequivocally with the people of Palestine, even stronger now.
And Mossab Youssef there, I mean, it's an extraordinary interview with a guy whose father was a founder of Hamas. He's absolutely clear that he believes you got to get rid of Hamas and then there can be peace and there can be what people want there. Do you agree with him?
I believe if you want to stop Palestinian resistance, you're going to have to kill every single Palestinian. Because regardless of whether...
What if you want to stop Hamas terrorism?
Yeah.
I believe any form of resistance Palestinians take is going to be called terrorism.
But terrorism isn't resistance if you actually commit an act of terrorism.
How can Palestinians defend themselves in a way that isn't considered terrorism?
Well, I'll give you the difference, which was argued. Actually, Garry Kasparov, the chess legend, today articulated what he saw was the difference. On October the 7th, hundreds of terrorists invade a country, Israel, and they brutally rape, assault, murder, set on fire innocent civilians. That is, by any yardstick, an act of appalling terrorism. Israel responds with what they say are targeted airstrikes at places they believe Hamas are hiding in Gaza. That's disputable, I get that, but that's what they say. They are qualitatively different. The death toll may not be different, but the intention of what is going on is different.
And that's exactly what happened in Deir Yassin in 1948, where people were raped, where villages were pillaged, set on fire, bombed. At Tantura, where Palestinians had to dig their own graves before they were shot into it. England started, just to finish this point, England orchestrated this genocide. So I'm actually happy that, you know, both of you are here.
Well, I'm Irish,
resisted,
for the record, but anyway.
but you have a lot of reach there. So we resisted when there was a British occupation, and we will continue to resist any occupation that exists in Palestine.
All right, let me bring in Emily.
I just want to ask you a question. So last we left it, you did refuse to condemn Hamas murdering Israelis on October 7th, and it seems as if nothing has changed. But I couldn't help but to think, do you condemn 9/11?
That's such a ridiculous
It's a yes
question.
or no.
This
it's
is
yes
an
or no.
interrogation of
It's yes
I'm a
or
New
no.
York citizen.
Well, actually, it's a
It's yes
simple
or no.
question.
Of course. No, it's a, of
Can
course.
you stop deflecting
of course.
questions?
She said of course.
Ridiculous.
So what
I said, of
is
course.
the
It's not a
difference
deflection.
between Israel's 9/11?
I'm not here to... Is she the
It's a
interviewer or
question.
are you?
Actually,
It's
she's
a
raising.
question.
I think the point she's making, unless I'm wrong, is if you condemn that, why won't you condemn what
Because
happened?
that was Israel's 9/11.
I'm not here to
Yes,
answer her
October 7th,
questions.
Can you ask her that
Palestinians
for
are
me?
the
Let me.
only
Well, we did
people
this
on
last
earth.
week. I will now ask what Emily just asked, because it's actually a valid question.
It's Israel's 9/11.
If you're happy to publicly condemn 9/11, why are you not happy to condemn Israel's
October.
9/11? In fact, it was a lot worse statistically.
Yeah.
9/11 is Palestine's 24/7.
That's completely
Let me bring in Louise.
absurd.
Let me bring in Louise here.
I found it really shocking. I have to say that your organisation within our lifetime said that it was an act of resistance on October the 7th. I mean, that is the most un-Islamic thing I've ever heard in my life. Tying the hands of little children behind them, covering them in petrol and then burning them alive. Please tell me, what is resistance about such inhumane torture of kids?
Since you want to bring up Islam, in Islam we believe that the bloodshed of any innocent person is equal to killing all of humanity. And this is something that, you know, we believe. Unfortunately, Palestinians are put in a situation where they're in an open-air prison. What we were celebrating that day is them breaking out of that open-air prison. I don't understand how the world expects
It's one
to
of the
lock
reasons.
people.
It's one of the reasons why you're not so keen to condemn what Hamas did on October the 7th, because you're fearful of publicly doing that. Are all Palestinians fearful of speaking out against Hamas, actually? Because there's a very good reason to be fearful.
No, there's no reason to be fearful. My life is not if anything, living in New York City my whole life, there are many Zionist institutions, including the universities that I attended, and campaigns against me for being pro-Palestinian, including putting my face on trucks to drive around Midtown and Times Square for 2 weeks. Just this summer, calling me a jihadi. So that's what I'm fearful of.
It's not because you're pro-Palestine, it's because you're pro-murder. There's a big difference. We are all pro-Palestinian liberation from a terrorist group called Hamas. Apparently everyone here but you.
What about from the occupation? Are you pro-Palestinian liberation from the occupation, the siege, and the blockade?
You want to talk about occupation?
You keep asking me questions.
I am asking you questions.
But you're changing the topic the one time I ask you a question.
You're pro-murder.
All right. I'll tell you what, Emily, I'll allow
calm
that.
down.
You have asked her a question. She can ask you.
Go ahead.
I just asked, do you support Palestinian liberation from the siege and blockade and the occupation? That's factually incorrect. How can I talk to somebody who doesn't even accept basic
The United
facts?
Nations partition plan divided the land. You waged a war. You
What does
lost
that have
it.
to do with the fact that there's a 17-year siege and blockade?
Emily, what I would say about that, if one country, in this case Israel, is able to turn on and off the tap of water and power and food for the people of Gaza, that is not a healthy situation. You can call it what you like. You can call it occupation, you can call it repression, you can call it control. But that, surely, when they talk about freedom for Palestine, what they mean is we're not reliant on Israel giving us water, food and energy so we can actually exist.
Correct, and I'm happy you brought up that point because they want their own territory, they want their own governmental body. So when we pulled out in 2005, 2006, why couldn't they establish that for themselves? Why are we giving electricity and water to begin with? And my question is, where's the hundreds of millions of dollars of aid being sent directly to Palestine, directly to Gaza? Where's that money going? But it was a rhetorical question.
Well, actually, it's a question I've got.
Towards rockets.
There's a question.
$600 a rocket, over $500 million.
Well, I would raise a different point, actually.
Why can't you bring
Let me raise this with
Louise.
Louise. NBC News, more than 80% of Gaza's population live in poverty, according to the UN. We can all agree that. But Hamas has an investment portfolio of real estate and other assets worth $500 million and an annual military budget of $350 million.
Sounds like a lot of electricity.
One of the most disgusting things about this entire period of time has been watching Hamas leaders sitting in Doha, in Qatar, in their 5-star hotels, telling poor Palestinian civilians, do not evacuate, do not listen to the IDF, do not get out of these areas that are being bombed, and preventing them from leaving. That is a war.
Nadine, are you comfortable with that?
No, that's totally untrue, and I'm glad that you brought that up because Naftali also spoke at it earlier when he talked about how they gave the order to evacuate the north, and we all know that they gave this evacuation order to Gaza on October 13. And what did they do? When they told them there's going to be safe passage on this road for them to evacuate, they bombed that passage. There is no word. There's no word for that other than
that's not been verified.
Now you're a conspiracy theorist as well.
Okay. Oh, this was really short. Wow, this particular video made me understand the history, how it all began, how this whole war all began. Like Hamas is a group in Palestine. They're the first people to start the attack on Israel, and Israel, retaliated. And with the painful part of this discussion, the fact that the Palestinians are supposed to evacuate, but they didn't allow them to do so. Why? The leaders that actually caused this, I don't know. That was really painful to listen to the fact that, the same leaders took a decision that, brought the citizens of the nation into where they are now, and they were about to leave, but they are not given chance to go. And I'm just fact that they had billions of money to actually build on electricity. They had money to, do a lot of, oh my God. I just wish the leaders could, consider this innocent people, these citizens. They should take the right decision so that peace can reign. That's what I can say. This was a very nice conversation, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.